Special reports and newspaper clippings aren't the only thing that's hidden under the surface of the series. Disguised in the glitches of these videos, we can find pages from what appear to be a children's storybook, telling the story of a long-lost prince. Some parts of the pages are unreadable due to either glitches covering up the text, video artifacting that blurs the letters, or just being cut off, but we can largely get the gist of the story. So sit down and relax as I tell you a dark, twisted tale. Once upon a time, the magical royal family of a distant kingdom wished to discover new lands, but as they were traveling by sea, their ship was struck by a giant storm. The prince fell overboard, eventually washing up injured on an island. He stumbles into a nearby cave, using what magic he can to put himself into a healing sleep. He slumbered for a long time, what seemed like forever, long enough for the land around him to change and evolve into something unrecognizable. Outside of the cave, a group of small critters began living on the island, struggling in times of hardship when there was too little food to go around. Eventually, the critters found the sleeping prince, awestruck by his magic. Some of them wondered if they'd be able to use the prince's magic to grow food and heal sickness, but the majority agreed that he was too dangerous and should be left alone. Despite this, some critters ignored the decision, sneaking what food they had to feed the prince, hastening his recovery. Thanks to them, the prince awoke, and now fully recovered, the prince befriended the critters. They formed a bond, with the critters leading the prince to their home inside the forest. They asked the prince if he would be able to help them, since the forest was unable to provide everything they needed to survive. The prince agreed, using his magic to summon mystical lights, shapes, colors, and figures. The critters were mesmerized by the prince's brilliance, and they built the prince a raft so he could return to his home kingdom. As he left, the prince vowed that with his power and the aid of the kingdom, he would someday return and heal the critters' home. Well, on the surface, this just seems to be like an odd little side story, series of Easter eggs hidden in an analog horror video to add to the mystery. It is far from that. The way I see it, this is literally a metaphor for the entire story that Vita Carnis is trying to tell us. The prince, that's the singularity, or whatever's at the center of all this mess in Canada, controlling the rest of these meat creatures around the world. I suspect it's from some super powerful alien civilization.